You ever have a team of people collaborating on a file only to have the wrong version go out? In this video, we're going to discuss the right way to collaborate on a file in Teams. So stay tuned for that. You've seen it before. You create a file, you start sharing it, then it gets renamed to the final, then the final, then the final with John's edits, then the final but do not use, and then you have a sea of different files going back and forth, and it's never really clear which is the right one. Microsoft Teams makes it very easy to collaborate on a file, not just internally, but externally as well. And in this video, I'm going to take you through the steps to create and edit and collaborate on a file with internal team members as well as external review resources. It all starts with your files library in Teams. In Microsoft Teams, every channel has a files library that you can use. And in that files library, you can upload a file or you can create a new one. I may choose to click the drop down and create a new Microsoft document. And that can be Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Visio. Alternatively, I can upload a file. It could be a file I started on my desktop, but now I want to collaborate on that. And I can do that by clicking Upload. Say, for example, we're going to collaborate on the Core Values Agreement document. I'll find that and I'll upload that. I can upload it. Of course, I can also just drag the file into Teams, and that'll do the same thing. Now, the key to successfully collaborating is to keep the document in Teams. Don't just download it and then start working on it and then upload it again. The document should live in Teams. But we can still take it outside of Teams to work on it. We just need to make sure it exists in Teams. And when we edit that document, there are 3 ways we can edit it. I can choose to open it directly in Teams. I can open it in app. In this case, it's Word, or I can open it in a browser. Now, each method gives you some features and maybe removes other features. If you want to have a full, rich, comprehensive experience, you can open it directly in the Word app on your desktop. In this case, I'm going to edit this first one in Teams. Now, when I review a document in Teams, I like to track changes. So I put that on for everyone. That way I can see all the changes different people are making. And as we iterate through the document, whoever owns that document can accept changes as they progress. And you can see when I make a change, just like in Word is always done, it shows the change I've made and it shows when I made it. So it's stamped. If you have 3 or 4 people working in a document, this is very important. Now, I can be in review mode. I can also be in edit mode where I can actually make those changes directly. I'm going to keep it in review mode here. But what if I want to use some of the richness within the Word app? Well, I might, instead of working on this in Teams directly, I might choose to open this in app. In this case, I find the file and I open it in app. So now I have the exact same file, but I'm editing it directly in Word. I get the richness of Word, but I also get another benefit. Up the upper right-hand corner, I get this share button. Now, the share button allows me to have people review and edit outside the organization. And there are different options I have. I can have anybody with this link edit it, or I can secure this further. In this case, I'm just going to give it anyone with this link. This is the least secure but the most flexible way to share a file for collaborative editing. If this person should only be reviewing it and not actually editing it, I can choose to put it in review mode only. Say you're sending this to a client for review. They should be able to put their comments and changes, but you don't want them to just edit the file, because if they do that, you might not be able to track what's happening. If you send it in review mode, they can leave comments and suggest changes without actually impacting the base document. I can also put an expiration date on this so that since this link is somewhat insecure, it's loose, I can make it so that this link will stop working after a certain amount of time. This way I'm not risking this link being reused months later by somebody who shouldn't be editing a document. And we can password protect it and things like that. So I applied those security changes, and now I can either email directly by putting the person's email address in here, or what I like to do is I just copy the link and then I send it to them directly. So then the file arrives, I emailed it to my Gmail account, and I get a link. Now I can open that file directly, and it tells me I'm in review mode. And if you look in the upper right hand corner, you can see I'm not signed in or anything. This is not my account. This is separately on a separate PC, not in Teams. So it's as if I sent it to a client of mine, and puts it in review mode. And maybe I disagree with the last change that was made. So I'm deleting that change. And maybe I want to look at if there are any comments or add a comment of my own. And the changes are saved in real time. So when the person's done, they can just close this out and then reply back to me that they made some changes. And they send the email to me that they made the changes, and then maybe I go back and I decide to see the document again. So I go back into Teams, and I can see the document was recently edited. So I'm going to open it in Teams this time. I'll edit it directly in Teams. And now you can see the change that was made by the guest has persisted. It shows that track changes is on, which I like. It shows that this was cut through, and you can see it was done by a guest user and the time they did it. If that user actually had a Microsoft account, Office 365, it would actually say their name there. In this case, they just used a guest link. And it shows the comment they left. So we're collaborating. We're going back and forth on this. Internally, we are working either in Teams or in app to collaborate on a document. Externally, with a shared link, our client can interact. At the end of the day, when this is all done, we accept the changes that are relevant, and we move forward knowing that we all are working on the exact same document. So I see their change, and I'm going to go and I'm just going to accept their change. And now we're back to where we were before. I made a change to the document. My client removed that change because they didn't agree with it. And then I saw their comments, and then I accepted their change. All right, that's all fine and good if everybody's playing by the rules. But what if somebody inadvertently downloaded the file and worked on it on their own desktop and got a lot of work done? Even though everybody else was playing by the rules and collaborating, this one person decided to do something independent. They decided to save their own copy with Fred's edits. How do we deal with that? Well, that's where we're going to take the document in Teams, and we're going to combine changes from another document. Now, if things go wrong, if somebody decides to make a copy locally of their document and make changes to it, there is a way around that. We can handle this by making a combination of two documents. It's a little bit more effort, and it requires an additional step, but the way it works is we download the document out of Teams, we compare it to the document that we were sent, we have a combined document, and then we upload that back to Teams. That's what I'm going to show you now. So I have a person, and he did his edits, and he did it separately on his own desktop computer. He got the link, or he got the file, but for whatever reason he chose to do it outside of Teams. So I have that file on my desktop. Now I'm going to go into Teams, and I'm going to download the current file. So that's done. I have two files on my desktop. Now I need to open Word. And I'll just open the document that I recently downloaded. So we have this document, we're ready. Now we're going to do this comparison and this merge. I go to Review, and then I choose Compare. And in this case, I'm going to choose Combine Documents, although we could just compare the two. I'm going to combine them. I'm prompted for two documents. The first document, which is the original, that's the one I'm going to say is our main document in Teams. And I got the downloaded document, and I put it on the left side. On the right side, I'm going to get the person's edits, and I'll browse for that. And then I choose the comparison settings. What is it that I want to know about these two documents? For simplicity, I'm going to have them all selected. And then I click OK. So now we have a new document titled Document 2 at the top. And it's actually the combination of the two. If I look at my document, the one that was from Teams, you can see this is another change. And I have this is and another change. But inserted into there is something from the other edited document. I'll pull that one up right now. And you can see this document, the person typed in, this is really good. They didn't track changes, it's just in there. So we merged this is another change with this is really good, and we end up with this document that has this is really good, another change. So it doesn't always work perfectly, but what's important is it points out the differences, and then you can determine what to put in there and what not. If a simple sentence was added, it will show up as a change. So now that I'm done with this document 2, I am going to edit it and upload it. And I'm going to save over the document that I downloaded from Teams so I don't create any confusion. I'm not calling it final, I'm not renaming it. The document has a single name. And I replace that document. I find the document I just saved, and I upload that back into Teams. It'll ask me if I want to replace it, which I do. And it's done. So I did that extra exercise to fix the problem that happened when somebody chose to go outside of the process. Ultimately, all collaboration should happen within Teams, within Word, using external links to share with clients. In the event somebody does take a file, save it locally, make sure that you do a combination of the two, make the proper edits, and then re-upload over the top of the main document in Teams. And this is the best way to collaborate on documents with multiple parties to ensure that nothing gets lost, nothing gets missed, and nothing gets shared that isn't the correct version. I hope this was helpful. I make videos like this all the time. Things come out every week. I talk about technology, marketing, mindset. If you like what you saw, I'd appreciate a like. If you want to see more of these, subscribe and ring the bell. Thanks for your time today, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.